What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 9 of my Total War Warhammer 3 Mother Ostankya Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, Kislev has been added and all Kislev now stands united under the Hag Witch, Ostankya, or Hag Mother, whatever. Pretty happy about that and the fact that we now possess Erengrad as well, though Ostankya's techs aren't locked behind having those settlements, so that wasn't the big deal, but having all of the landmarks, or at least working towards having the landmarks in the sense that we still have to build a lot of them, is a nice thing in and of itself. This place really needs additional growth, but yeah. Oh, I wanted to check last episode whether at tier 3 we could recruit Ice Guard, but no, it looks like it's tier 4 only. So until Kislev is up there, we won't be able to do so unless we want to maybe build an Ice Guard building temporarily in Fort Ostrask, which we could also do, as that would serve to allow us to get those. It's not like vanilla has capacity limitations, so we could get all the Ice Guard we want for Serena Katrin out of that. Speaking of Serena Katrin, between the episodes, as promised, I fought this tiny little half stack here so that we didn't have to auto-resolve, and that gave us enough levels to unlock her sled, so now she has her sled, and we preserved the HP of the Frostworms so the auto-resolve doesn't kill them off, so pretty happy about that as well. Otherwise, I believe we still probably have at least a couple things to do this turn, so let's get to doing. Borden Ribkin, you're out of range of this War Host of Jar caravan, unfortunately, but you are in range of Uskalak, so you're going to head down there and grab that for us, and the lovely, lovely metal, or iron that we're looking for from it. Colonize. Lovely. Damn. The plus 25% income we were putting into this territory was making a lot of extra money. Huh. Wondering if we should put a recruiter lord in a couple here. Now the supply lines will probably counteract it anyway. Anyway. Uskalak hours now. Let's get the village up and running. Don't collect the income for now and start it up. And what do we have here? Astrogoth with just a lot of Hobgob archers. Might actually be a pretty interesting fight specifically for the Streltsy to deal with them. And we'll see how that works out for us. And what do we have in the Great Skull Lakes? Even more. Yeah, it's going to be more than 2 stacks. I'm hoping that we can still fire, as in the fire at will bug, and doesn't screw us over there. Boris, you're still fairly damaged. I think what we're going to do is this. We're going to pop you into... Wait. You don't actually have to be in an encamp stance, do you? This army has to be in an encamp stance, but it can only travel this distance. Yeah, that's okay. I think that's fine. We'll do this. We'll get back to the Howling Citadel right after. Also should keep an eye on the Demon Prince there, but for now, go here. And you'll return to the Howling Citadel, but I want you to get to the units that you've been hankering for a while. Grab, let's see. All 4 of the Feral Ice Bears, those are for you, and then the 1 Horse Archer. Trade away the Kossars, the Akshina Ambushers, the Watchmen and the Knight Armored Kossars, and both the Kislevite Warriors, which will put you up to 21 because you have too many somethings. I guess it's the Kossars with spears we've got to get rid of, unless the other army... No, it needs all these spiders. Alright, fine, get rid of the 1 Kossar unit. I mean, I guess what we could do is, wait, is this army in range? Not really, unfortunately. Alright, fair enough. You can go into the Monolith of Festerlung, I guess? Yeah, and I also forgot where I was going to put you. You are a... Oh, right, you're cunning. We're going to put you with the Akshina. That makes sense to me. So we'll do that, start moving you up there. And then you guys can take the Burning Monolith together, I imagine, without needing Boris to do it for you. Boris, I guess keep this 1 Kossar here. It's going to kind of bother me, but it is what it is. And then upgrade you to the Winged Lancers until we're ready for all of these to become Warbear Riders. And then the Kossar and then the last spot here will be replaced by the... okay, you go back in the army. Will be replaced by a couple of Elemental Bears. Yeah, there we go. Once again, I wanted to have at least some beast units or forest units in every single army. And I think maybe we'll actually put some things in the woods in Kistalton's army. I do think that his buffs will work well for them, and I kind of like the idea that the only way that Ostankya can get the Orthodoxy and Kistalton in particular to serve her was to just put piles of things in the woods, following them around constantly so they know they'll be devoured if, you know, if they step out of line. Gotta do what you gotta do, and it seems like something up Ostankya's alley, so that's what we're going with. Anyway, we're not immune to chaos attrition, but for Boris Ursus, rather, I almost said Forest Ursus, which actually kind of makes sense because forest bear, but anyway, is fine. Alexander Turin, to be deleted, aka, is fine as he is as well, and actually there isn't anything to do this turn, which means we can skip buildings, outposts, still no alliances, or at least none of them that we want, but we are very, very close to getting our next hex unlocked, which I'm particularly excited for. Double check the hero. Nah, I probably did it last episode. And the turn instead. Let's see what Azazel does. You probably sailed out, didn't you? I'm willing to bet. On the one hand, we did lose vision here. Oh, actually, we didn't lose vision. We can still see the blue scribes. Meaning they probably sailed out. The unfortunate aspect of this is we currently have no other armies down there. Wulfric, are you going to declare war on us? Yeah, alright, that was admittedly bound to happen. Not much we can do about it. Do we want to call these guys to help? Does that actually do anything for us? I don't think they're going to take any of their territory. Although if they try, maybe that's not a horrible thing. You know what? Yeah, go for it. Call your allies to help. Them getting a little bit weaker because of it is also not the worst thing in the world for us. Hey, this actually worked. I am shocked, though I'm also willing to bet that Azazel will immediately sail out. And oh, we gotta catch him, though. Pigeon Plucker Pendant, one of us, leadership in own territory. Great. We'll go to Bay of Blades, and he will sail away, right? He won't sail away. That's shocking. Okay, I guess we'll fight him. We'll fight him in a second. Let's see what else we gotta do, and I'm just gonna try to not forget that I did that. You need to move up here, and you can't reach it. Oh, Demon Prince is actually going there. You know what? I like that. Boris, go right here in ambush stance, right outside the Howling Citadel, and then maybe you can knock this guy out, but his faction is pretty much done for anyway. Decent likelihood that the other army is then either sailing away or moving, but that's fine. You guys know where you're going, which is another army. Anybody that you can reach the Burning Monolith? Alas, no either. Alright, that's fine. You need to get your troops to the Akshina. Yes, you guys can travel together, or... well, we could put you in a camp stance. What's the likelihood that this guy recruits like 5 units and attacks them? I'm gonna say low, so keep going this way, and I'm just going to assume that you're safe. Anyway, Ostankya. We need to use the Hex in order to... I mean, I guess we could do it here. Actually, we can't do it here until we take a territory. And we probably won't be able to take a territory next turn. We'll probably have to wait until the turn after, because we have to move over there. Its cooldown is 5 turns. There is corruption here, but there isn't all that much of it, admittedly. But maybe that's the place to do it. Alright, fine. Kistalton, it's time to fight. Let's get... alright, no Saliak's Lullaby on you, sadly. We're gonna have to reset this guy. Knowledgeable isn't horrible in the sense that it's bonus XP, so I can't say no to that. Anything concerning here? Oh, you know what we can do. Use the Witch's Hat again. Gotta keep getting not Fragmenti, but Typhlosis, because it's really nice. And, I mean, we can keep spamming Agony Succession, because it's just universally useful. What is this? Speed reduction and acceleration reduction. Probably solid against Slaneshi as well. And I might like it more than Ember Dread, at least for now, so let's do it. Oh, and I guess we'll get a Hushed Cast as well. Alright, did that do it for us? We have 10 more Spirit Essence, so we'll unlock this as soon as we pop off that Purification chant. In fact, maybe we should save it for... because we can then unlock this next turn. If we save it for Crystal Spires, we can immediately get this entire province to 0 corruption, which would actually be quite useful to us right now. Anyway, Kistalton, we're gonna fight this, and you're gonna lose one of your Streltsy, which is... Wait. We need to get the anti-Slaneshi Steelies hero so that that doesn't happen. We have them. I know we have them. But we need to get the anti-Slaneshi Steelies hero so that that doesn't happen. We have them. I know we have them. But we need to get the anti-Slaneshi Steelies hero so that that doesn't happen. We have them. I know we have them. But we need to get the anti-Slaneshi Steelies hero so that that doesn't happen. We have them. I know we have them. But we need to get the anti-Slaneshi Steelies hero so that that doesn't happen. We have them. I know we have them. But we need to get the anti-Slaneshi Steelies hero so that that doesn't happen. We have them. I know we have them. But we need to get the anti-Slaneshi Steelies hero so that that doesn't happen. We have them. I know we have them. But we need to get the anti-Slaneshi Steelies hero so that that doesn't happen. We have them. I know we have them. But we need to get the anti-Slaneshi Steelies hero so that that doesn't happen. We have them. I know we have them. But we need to get the anti-Slaneshi Steelies hero so that that doesn't happen. We have them. I know we have them. But I forgot what they were called. A Ritual Enforcer. Alright, so you can have a Ritual Enforcer. It's minus 15. And you can have a Ritual Enforcer as well, assuming you don't already have one, which you don't. Victoria... Huh. I mean, do Ostankya and Co need these? I'm gonna assume no. And if they do, then I'll try to remember. And, that didn't do it for you. Well, we have no other heroes, so we're just gonna have to contend with the fact that they stole our Streltsy. Oh, well, what can you do? We will... Let's see, this is Acceleration. Where's Typhlosis? Not Agony, Succession. Wait, did I miss... Oh, it's right here. We'll put that on Mr. Azazel. There's a unit of Chosen of Slaanesh in here. And what do we have here? Physical Resistance Reduction, Melee Attack. I swear something... Oh. Range minus 15% is also for Typhlosis. Probably shouldn't do that then. Chain Hex, a little bit of damage. Yeah, we could probably put a few Agony Succession to different places. I do like the fact that this offers weakness to fire damage because we do use it. So we'll do that, and then... Oh, they have a unit of Dragon Ogres here. That's actually somewhat concerning as well. Is there anything that reduces their missile resistance? They don't have physical resistance. In fact, does anything here have physical resistance? No demonic units. I wanted to counteract their demonic nature with anti-physical resistance, but, I mean, I guess Mr. Azazel does, but Typhlosis is probably the better pick. We do have magical damage on Kastalton after all, and he's the one who's going to be fighting this. I guess we could put it on the Furies, but the Furies are so fragile that it doesn't really matter either. Speed reduction, charge reduction... Honestly, I don't care about that for most of these guys. Let's just get another random Agony Succession on... I don't know. They'll probably spread out, probably no need. Speed reduction on the Dragon Ogres. We'll save the other Typhlosis, and... we'll put it on the Manticore. We are damaged here. We do have to be wary of it. Honestly, I'm just trying to find excuses to actually use these things, because otherwise I feel like I'm not doing so enough, so, yeah. Let's get Incarnate Silver Wrath on Kastalton himself. I'm sure he's going to have to contend with fighting stuff here. We also gotta try to not kill the Streltsy, even though they're not gonna make up part of Kastalton's army. Anyway, fight.
Blasphemers arraign themselves against us. The purge begins.
Alrighty, here we go. The army of Azazel, such as it is. It's not a very big stack. We outnumber the enemy nearly 2-1, but of course our army is made up of random garbage, and... well, theirs is not so much, especially having stolen our Streltsy, and probably the best unit of ours that they could have stolen, as we really could have used those to gun down Azazel, and the Manticore, and the Trolls, and the Chosen, pretty much everything, so, yeah. Anyway, the Azazel is going to lead with his own little flyers, in fact, all of the flying units. Azazel himself, with his own very flashy animations, will attempt to go after the war sleds, but will give it up in order to move towards our unarmored Kossars in the back line as well, together with the Furies and the Manticore. Kastalton's going to charge right on in to fight both Azazel and the Manticore, and call in one of his Patriarchs to help, mostly just to try to keep him healed. Enemy Exalted Hero is moving on in. Looks like we've managed to kill off one of the enemy Marauder horses, and the rest of the enemy army is slowly but surely approaching us. Try to gun it down as best we can, though the Chaos Warriors with bronze shields and 100 armor are definitely not going to suffer a lot against our non-armor piercing fire. So once again, it's up to our single unit of Streltsy to do the damage. And yeah, these guys have been on the approach under fire the entire time and have only shed about 15% of their HP, and these are just Chaos Warriors and not even Chosen. The Chosen are coming in too, but I didn't even bother firing at them because that's just, it's not going to do anything. Alrighty, how are we doing out here? The single entities have switched targets to the Manticore simply because it'll be easier to kill it off, or at least force it to fly, and then we can switch to Azazel right after the Manticore is done, and will attempt to flee, and Azazel is down to about half of his HP. His melee defense at 47 isn't all that high, and with Kastalton up to 90 melee attack, he should be able to take Azazel, especially with those arrows flying. Non-magical arrows perhaps, but good enough for our purposes. forces. Azazel down to about 10% of his HP. His Dragon Ogres were the next target, and they, unlike the Chaos Warriors, no shields, little armor, and get obliterated by our range fire, including the Streltsy and the armored Cossars as well. One more hit, and I do believe Azazel will be done for. In fact, Kestelton just watches as the demon gets brought down with arrows. Then Kestelton will head towards the enemy exalted hero, even as our range unit switch targets to him. And of course, we were getting a little bit of help from our armored war sleds, or just our war sleds as well. A little bit of armor-piercing damage. The enemy chosen have been under fire for, I don't know, like a minute and a half non-stop, and have about half of their HP remaining now. The Chaos Warriors of Sonish are kind of in the same boat, where they've been fighting for a long time, and also have half. But this is what happens when you get a random army made of garbage. It's, well, we just don't have the armor-piercing. Fortunately, it looks like we don't need it. Kestelton has defeated the enemy exalted hero and brought him and horse down. And with all of their lords and heroes having fallen, their single entities gone, the Chosen and the Chaos Warriors alike will flee. Lovely. Fun little fight. Always nice to get back to our roots with the basic units periodically, but yeah, we'll be advancing all of the armies best we can, especially now that we have the whole gang back together. Alright, well, we left the Streltsy alone, but... Oh, I forgot to apply the banner. But anyway, we left the Streltsy alone, but the devs still haven't fixed the thing where the unit that gets Slaneshi seduced is destroyed, even though it's supposed to return to us if we don't kill it during the battle. Oh, well, what can you do? I really don't like game design that has no possibility of counterplay. It's kind of why Kairos was really irritating back when, but, well, once again, what can you do? We've got, let's see, close victory, a decent amount of cash, a little bit of XP and stuff for Kestelton, and one lost unit of Kislevite warriors, but this entire army is going to be retooled, so it doesn't really matter over much. Occupy the place, free gold sigil sword, and a free tax collector, which Kestelton doesn't need. And hopefully somebody else can make good use of. Defeated Azazel, weapon strength for 3% for lords and embedded heroes. Pretty solid. We are going to keep a bunch of the patriarchs in his army, and we'll have to get decent ones. Although I'm probably not going to bother wasting too much time trying to get ones with very good traits, just passable traits, at the very least. We still, of course, have to bring down the Tower of Karak itself, and then we have to figure out whether we actually want to keep the place, whether we can somehow get Sarl encampment from these guys, which is currently worth not a crazy amount, but we'll need to maybe take a territory from Wulfric and transfer it to them, which is a possibility, considering he's declared war on us. And I wouldn't say no to using the dwarfs as a shield if they're actually willing to frickin' align with us. Now, Orthodoxy is really starting to get ahead of the Ice Court support, though by the looks of it, let's see, 15 character, 15 Ottomans, we got 30 plus 9, so 39 versus, yeah, okay, I can see why the big difference. Need to maybe take out a few more buildings. Yeah. But we'll do that. Alright, you're gonna have to fight shortly, but let's start moving everybody else around first. Ostankya. Since we're waiting on the purification chant, you may as well continue on your way south. And soon it'll be time for the Golden Knight to leave and head into the army of... head into the army of Serena Katrin down here, which likely means we can probably build another things in the woods, although I guess we'll have to have one of these guys do it and then chase Ostankya around. It'll be a whole thing. You, Cunning Man, go this way. And then you guys, can you reach this now? Oh, right, you cannot. Well, that's a shame, but it is what it is. Just approach it, and then all of you all will reach it together. And camp stance, go here. Don't worry, I have ideas for what those armies are going to look like, and they are still going to look completely different from the others. Oh, you can reach Astrogoth from here. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. The big issue is, well, you know what, we're gonna have to attack Great Skull Lakes directly because we won't be able to follow to Uzkalak. Also, no, we do have walls here. Huh, it doesn't have the walls icon. It should have like a, oh, wait, Kislev doesn't have it at all? Oh, it has it up here, never mind. No, it doesn't. Maybe it's because it's not tier 1. That's probably why. Alright, it'll get walls. Nobody panic. Except me. You. Economist. Income from all buildings, recruitment cost, construction cost, corruption, and court agent. Once again, I guess. None of this helps with stealing tech. I did want to make at least one tech thief. I'll do court agent again, and we'll see about the tech thievery after. Alright, Ostankya is good. You are going to fight in a bit. I just want to make sure everybody else moves where they need to go. Another Ataman has completed another point, so let's get you distributor. Recruiters are good. Serena Katrin, yes. So you need to, I guess, go to Desolation of Drakenmore and then Howling Rock afterwards. This should be auto-resolvable. It'll hurt us, but hopefully not so bad that we are of... Yep. We're not concerned. Occupy. Really like to find another banner of swiftness. Could really hit the spot. Azak survived? Really? He was... I thought I saw 2 of... really, he survived. Ungrim had a full stack and then another half stack, and then Ungrim's full stack was nothing but Slayers. And... okay. Can't leave the eye to do absolutely anything. And I also see the Crooked Moon are moving northward, which is likely to mean that we're going to be fighting them. That should be fun. Probably Draika, and probably Festus. Lots of enemies still to fight, which is good because there's still a bunch of armies that I intend to build and try out. Next Ataman is you. You have Foreman completed. Let's get you, I guess... let's get you Iron Disciplinarian to start, and then we'll see after. The other 2 Ataman here are good. You are still stuck where you are. You are going to fight Feldman Ingerson. Okay, I guess we got 2 fights. We'll do 1 fight, and then we'll do the... and building, and then we'll do the other fight. And where are you going? This guy really concerns me. It's only a matter of time until one of the AIs asks him to join war against us. I absolutely see it happening. I guess the only way that we could get out of it is if they have no diplomatic contact, but oh, looks like he has diplomatic contact with these guys, and as soon as they declare war on us, that's a decent likelihood. Would you... oh. But my time is short. Cool, okay, fine. Legion of K? No, okay, no dice. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Wishful thinking on my part. Alright, let's do this fight, I think, against Feldman Ingerson. Can Akshina Ambushers be turned back to Kossars? No. What do you have in terms of your trade determined? Nothing crazy. We have a light war sled, a bunch of Akshina, a regular Kossar, which can also become an Akshina, because it's going to bother me that we have 1 Kossar. Yeah, fine, do it, why not? And then we've got 2 Kislevite warriors, which cannot become Kossars until they're rank 5, so you're going to have to fight with what you got. You've got 3 points available to you. I'm going to assume that you're going to have Kossars in your army. Because the other army that I was considering doing more Kossar heavy might actually be different. So let's get you firing drills. And besides, it basically applies to anything that has any kind of range and gives it melee defense as well. So it's pretty solid. Haven't decided which of these you're going to do because I haven't decided what you're going to do army-wise either. Assuming, of course, that we keep this guy. Ooh, before I forget, check heroes for a second. Weapon Master, I don't like it. Fleet-footed. I mean, we could do fleet-footed, or we could just stop. Stop assuming that we'll bother getting a cunning one. Maybe we should. Screw it. Let's get a hag witch. Let's get the strong hag witch here. I just want the 2 hag witches for the Akshina army. It's been too long. And... knowledgeable is fine as well. You know what? Take out the fleet-footed one, I guess, and we'll see. We'll give it 1 more turn to mill, because one doesn't need to be faster than the other. Even though I do like the trait, but unless we get 2 fleet-footed, and I just don't see that happening right now. Anyway, let's fight this, then we'll do building, and then we'll do whatever other fights we gotta fight. This actually might be a fairly tough on field, which means it'll be fun. We have no magic with us. I'm surprised this guy didn't even try to attack us here, but yeah, we'll just have to deal with what we've got. Yeah, we're gonna get overwhelmed. And we don't have enough melee to hold the enemy back. Sounds fun, though. Close victory. You know what? Just to kill off the enemy lord quicker, let's Typhlosis him up. Oh, did I use all the Typhlosis up? I think I did. Alright, fine. We always have spare Agony Succession, so we'll put one on the middle Marauder, and then we'll put one on one of these guys, and... Do we want to do anything here? Fire damage, and... wasn't there something that reduces enemy speed? Yeah. You know what, let's do that on one of the Skin Wolves, because I don't think we're going to use that much elsewhere. Just for fun. The enemy has no magics either. Passive ability, Spirited Away. Oh, if somebody gets obliterated, they can become an elemental bear, but only if they get obliterated, so good luck actually getting that to happen. That's fine. Go.
I promise you, to fail me brings worse consequences than the blades of these curs.
Alrighty, here we go. I think this should be a pretty interesting fight. Our armies are basically pretty much equivalent to each other in every way. It's 19 troops versus 19 troops. We have no mage, they have no mage. They have 7 fast-moving units between their Skin Wolves and their Marauder horses, and we have 7 fast-moving units between our Kislevite horse archers and Kosovite dervishes. We have 4 Akshina ambushers, and the enemy have 4 Marauder hunters. It's like, oh, I know why. The AI designs its armies using an algorithm, unless they're limited by the buildings that they have, and the AI designed our army, since it's just random nonsense, and the AI designed the AI's army, which is why they're exactly equivalent to each other. Kind of neat, though. Anyway, here we go. We're going to let the fast movers shine a little bit, since we're even. Feels like it makes sense for the Marauder horses and the horse archers to face off against each other, of course with a little bit of support from that war sled of ours, or those war sleds. Alright, and we're going to be backing off and hosing the enemy down with arrow fire as best we can. Can't be letting them hit us with those javelins, because they'll hit us a lot harder than we will them. And a couple of volleys into those war sleds, especially with the armor-piercing nature of the throwing axes, but also the damage of the javelins, is certainly something we gotta be careful about. Alright, gonna try to wheel around. Why? Because our Kosovite dervishes were hidden in the trees, waiting to move on in and hit the Marauder horses. A bit of back and forth here, but pretty fun. It does look like the enemy has moved its other fast movers in as well, and they'll be hitting our horse archers in the flanks. Nice little volley. Takes about 25% of their HP. Gotta watch out for those Skin Wolves as well, so we'll peel away and ride right through the sort of gap in the line between wolves and Marauder horses. Lovely. I do like seeing sort of light cav duels, because they generally tend to last quite a while, which is pretty fun. Also Slaneshi Giggle, but yeah, it's just generally pretty fun. And they don't melt nearly as quickly. Anyway, the 2 units that were heavily damaged, the Marauder horses, will now be chased down by our Kosovite dervishes. The enemy's going to run into the trees, but the dervishes should eventually catch up, as they're slightly faster, and since the enemy is damaged, man, those Chaos horses, they are gigantic. Chaos steroids make everything bigger. But anyway, Slaneshi Giggle. Marauder horses are going to get destroyed here. The Skin Wolves continue to attempt to chase the horse archers around, but they're going to have a pretty bad time here. And the main enemy army continues approaching our own main force. Does look like they have hung the Marauder horsemen out to dry here, as they have advanced by themselves. And by virtue of not being with the other fast movers, they are giving us the advantage over where the range cav are dueling. Speaking of, how are we doing back here? Skin Wolves have so far still been unable to actually get to anybody, because we simply skirmish away. Not by skirmish mode, because I didn't trust it here, especially against enemy fast movers, and was just microing everything, which was made easy by the fact that our main stack is just sitting there and not doing anything. We could have also absolutely turned this into a trap by deploying our Akshina ambushers here, but didn't seem like there was a need to do so. Anyway, the first of the enemies charge on in. Marauders, Skinwolves, who were probably Marauders, but anyway, Skinwolves charge on in and get rapidly ripped apart before the actual Marauders arrive, and I don't think those Skinwolves are coming back with that 225 HP regeneration or not. The rest of the Marauders are heading up that hill, and we do have a pretty good formation. There is a rock to our backs, a big old cliffside protecting our back and our left flank, and, well, not really our right flank, but there's woods here, and I think we're pretty okay. The Berserkers will suffer a lot in this advance. Once again, really missing Weather the Storm on them from SFO, or at least the AI is. And now it's up to, once again, our Kossars to hold the line. Except that guy. Alright, Patriarch moves in to help out on the front a little bit. I do believe our Lord is now searching for the Marauder Chieftain, which has actually rushed through our lines, or attempted to rush through our... There he is. He will attempt to rush through our lines. Trust me on that. There he goes. We're going to use a heal on our units as we engage the enemy Marauder Chieftain, and our Lord begins his duel while we hold back the rest of the enemy. Let's check back on the range cav duel. Well, this is a very fun thing to do, but it is also, well, there's also the issue of not being able to see what's going on both sides of the map at the same time. I mean, I guess you could do like a picture-in-picture sort of thing, but that seems like it would be impossible to comment over anyway. Anyway, we've got the Marauder horses here pretty much done for too, with about 10% of their HP, and thus the enemy range pretty much failed. Same thing goes for the missile infantry, as we've been hosing them down with quarrels from our Akshina ambushers. And just a few more volleys, and it looks like the enemy range will be destroyed. In fact, with so little enemy range or cav remaining, it looks like the remaining melee troops will give it up, and this battle is ours as well. And a pretty darn fun one at that. I gotta say, I really enjoyed that one. Alright, and we'll do our best to chase down at least a few of the enemy troops. We do have plenty of cav to do so after all, so most of the enemy army isn't coming back from this one. Alright, Crown of Command, not super helpful to us really at all. Generally kind of a meh item, but especially with us Kislevites with By Our Blood, it's not going to have too much value. Anyway, fun little fight. I'm glad we got a bit of a chance for the light cav to shine. We got 106 kills and 84k damage, 8,400, 84k damage on these horse archers, which is certainly a lot more than they've done before. More on the Akshina, but not all that much more, so yeah, lovely time was had by all. We'll take the money again because we are still negative, and Felman Ingerson's army by and large will be destroyed. We will also want to move down here to Packeye Bay rather rapidly. Destroy this for good and then start moving. Auto resolve. I did not check whether the horse archers would die or the dervishes, but it looks like we're okay. Let's grab the sacrifice captives, a little bit of extra devotion and movement range here, and then march stance. I can't quite get to Ultra the Crimson Harvest, but that's alright. Just gotta get here before one of our allies, quote-unquote, takes it from us. And ooh, do also have to pay attention to Wolfric running around. Well, not in Wolfric directly, but you know what? How's about you join the war against the Worldwalkers? Minus 2.4, 7k to do it, but he will most likely then advance this way, which would work out reasonably well for us. I'm almost willing to pay it to him. We could just give him a Bay of Blades, and that'll do it for us. In fact, just out of curiosity, how much is Bay of Blades worth to you? A single settlement isn't going to make that much of a difference to us. Bay of Blades, 27. It would give us that military alliance and access to his units. A couple of thunder barges wouldn't go amiss. Ooh, yeah, he has gyrocopters. He has cannons, goblin hewers. Flamethrower units for Castalton, since he's going to be a fire army. Oh, right. They would have certainly enabled us to do the fire army thing. And once again do kind of like the idea of not bothering with Norska, because you generally get Norska in every single Kislev campaign. I might not want to do that here. Alright, fine, you know what? I like it. Let's leave Beyblades. We'll transfer him to Tower of Crack as well, most likely. It interferes with the contiguity of our empire, but it's fine. It's not a huge deal. Well, I can live with it. If you guys can live with it, I can live with it. What was I gonna do? I was gonna give you the Beyblades. For a military alliance, probably he's also going to get us into a war with Malice Darkblade, but, well, it is what it is. Join war against the World Walkers as well. I don't imagine Malachi will lose against them, and we'll take your money for our trouble. I don't think there's any territory that we want from you anyway, so yeah, let's do it. Finally. Alright, this also puts us into diplomatic contact with them, and hey, a new trinket from the alliance with the dwarfs. What are we still missing? Alliance or killing lizardmen? So lizardmen, ogres, tomb kings, high elves. Oh, okay, we should be able to get an alliance with high elves shortly. Cathay, come on. Cathay and Bretonia should, in theory, be very much alignable with the bull. I don't know why I said it like that. But we actually have to try to get those alliances going. Middleland wants to trade, but they're basically dead. Visenland, northern provinces, come on, man. I wish Blessed Dread was stronger. If they were stronger, we could do this, but we're not giving you 19k for that, because that's insane. Oh, we got missions. Wolfric the Wanderer and Guardian Wolf Splitter. Wolf Splitter, Slaneshi Giggle. Accept, and I guess accept as well. Not that those matter over much. Is Reckland up to tier 4? It is. So we might be able to get land ships from them, which might be nice. And we do have all those bonuses for getting allied units specifically from Empire and Dwarfs, so I do think that we should make use of them. Just gotta get some kind of Wood Elf allies. I did look into the mod, which would give us access to Malevolent Tree Spirits, but it hasn't been updated in, I don't know, like a year or something, so I don't imagine that it works, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Just gonna have to try the Spirits of Shanlin. I think that's our best chance. Anyway, we've got other battles to fight, don't we? Oh, right, I was gonna do buildings. I got excited about fights. Gormandi Mountains, we'll start with you. We built up an Orthodoxy Oubliette here, and I think we'll actually delete the Orthodoxy Oubliette and replace it with a non-Orthodoxy building. Gotta get these in relatively even position. We also have the potential of deleting both of these Orthodoxy Oubliettes as well, but we'll wait on it. Skull Road, yes to the farm estate and the market. And of course go for the Hallowed Wood, because we're making decent cash in this province. Southern Oblast, keep as you are. Troll Country, Fort Ostrosk. Okay, so there's two things we want to do here. First of all, we want to build the Hallowed Wood for all of the buffs. And then second, and perhaps more importantly, the Smithery to get access to Little Groms. You know what? Maybe even hold off on the Hallowed Woods and just go for the Covenant of Ice. Convent of Ice. I like Covenant as well. Yeah, just do it now. I want Frost, I want Ice Guard Fort Serena Catron. Even though we can't afford them right now, by the time that this is up in 4 turns, we may very well be able to afford them. And we can always delete it after if needed, as needed, etc. Blasted Expanse of Desolation of Drakenmoor. Now these places may need to have defensive structures. We'll start with the markets in both places, because we might not be able to build Hallowed Woods here, and then we shall see. And the thing is, there's a 100% likelihood that the Crooked Moon will declare war on us, probably rather soon. And then these places will need to be able to defend themselves while Serena Catron either loops around through World's Edge Archway or back around to Fallen King Mountain. And I believe that's it building-wise, right? At least I don't think we need to invest in the Chaos territories right now. Well, we can build up the harbor at the Altar of the Crimson Harvest and the market here. Though it's not collecting money, it will be eventually. Sooner rather than later. And I guess we can build the Grand Courthouse here as well. Alright, everybody else is good. I think we had 2 potential fights. You against the Chaos Dwarfs, and what was the other one? Great, now I'm going to have to try to figure that out. Oh, did I besiege something? I swear it was 2. Was it not 2? It wasn't you. You have to go this way. You're fine as you are, and you have just fought. These guys are stuck. You're waiting to ambush. You're good. You're about to fight. You have moved. I guess it was just those. Alright, I'm just gonna assume that I didn't screw it up, although that's a dangerous assumption to make. Board and Ripken, let's level up your troops and let's head on in. The water's fine. Oh, right, I've been waiting for another tough Patriarch. Wait, did I check Patriarchs and Heroes this turn? I don't know. Oh, we got a strong Patriarch. It's not tough, but it's up there. Might actually work well for Kislev, so... because we're gonna use him to fight. We'll get you up and running at Prague because we have the bonus level there. And we'll keep you. Even though tough's better, but what's the likelihood? A Weapon Master I really dislike, so we will... Yeah, let's get you on Field Weapon Master. And then we'll delete you. Although it is Missile Strength and Reload Time Reduction. You know what, maybe that's actually not so bad. Maybe we'll do Weapon Master. Maybe I shouldn't have deleted the other Weapon Master. Let's do Weapon Master then. It's more range damage. Why not? What was you? What was you? You have Strong, which actually helps you in melee, but you're not going to be in melee. You're going to help attack with the Akshina, so yeah. And you are Lure of Hags. Oh, well, we didn't want 2 Lures of Hags anyway. One was supposed to be Lure of Hags, and the other was supposed to be Lure of Shadows for these guys. To be fair, though, Lure of Shadows doesn't help that much. It's just that it has a damage buff that's nice. Unless I'm mistaken, right? Let me just double check it. You. Shadow Lore, you have... Vorozheya's Foresight. Missile resistance, missile block chance, and armor. Yeah, for sniping a single unit, essentially. A little mini hex. And some other stuff, I guess. Spirit Leech might help, and the spiders are still melee, so... Yeah, fine. We'll get a Shadow Lore. That means we can delete the first Hag Lore that is strong, I guess. Not that I dislike Strong, it's just that, yeah, not gonna be what we do here. Plus, they're really cheap to recruit, so not a huge deal. Anyway, time to fight these guys again. You are currently at war with the Drippin' Fangs, who we are at war with as well. I just realized that there's a small issue. In fact, not a small issue. These guys can all reach Uzkalak. Okay, wait. And we suffer attrition here. Alright. What the heck do we do then? Because they can reach Uzkalak, if we hit this army won't be destroyed and it'll move away. Because we can't chase all these guys down. Then... how do we do this? How much movement range will you have remaining? Okay, I think I know how to do this. We have to sack the place. Alright, I guess that's the only way to do it. Alright, let's level up, or continue leveling up. I interrupted myself. Wild-eyed for you, sir. And both of the witches. We have droves of enemies here, so either we won't be able to cast. We don't have the mana. You haven't channeled lately. Swiftwing, I guess we'll put 1 point in Hawks and 1 point in Biting Wind. We'll use neither in this particular battle, most likely. Probably just spamming either Ice Maiden's Kiss or the other thing. Let's get you Heart of Winter. Maybe Heart of Winter, depends on if we can get the enemy to blob up nicely for us. Anyway, declare war. Call your allies to help. Does that help us in any way right now? Actually, it does. Maybe. Sure, call allies to help. Because it might allow us to get missions. I think since we just got the alliance with them, we won't get the missions immediately. Yeah. But if one of these guys survives next turn, then we can still get missions. So, there is that. Yeah, okay, well, attack the Great Skull Lakes. Do you need any items? What do you have? You have the Sword of Bloodshed, Gambler's Armor, which is fine. We don't have any new items for you. You have a Kastuva's Egg, which is fine, I guess, on you. Probably good on a Lord rather than a Minion. I guess this is all fine. Alright, let's see if you can manage to pull this off. At least you'll be able to retreat, if not. Yeah, I think just because of the sheer amount of units and the fact that the Strelts are going to have a little bit of a difficult time with it, we'll want to get a few more hexes going. Agony Succession on the Hobgob Sneaky Guts. I have a healthy respect for these guys. Well, actually, you know what? Maybe put it on some of the archers. What is this? Physical resistance minus 15. You've got no physical resistance. Anybody have physical resistance here? Nope, nobody has physical resistance. Man, that's a lot of units. Speed reduction. We could put it on the Oglacon's Wolf Boys, I guess. What does this do? Spell Mastery. You know what, let's get the anti-spell mastery on Astrogoth then. Alright, and what does this do again? Hushed Cast. This is missile and power recharge rate. That doesn't really help us, but the speed reduction, probably better on those guys. Oh, we got more Hushed Cast, go figure. Melee attack minus 10. Put that on the Blazing Beards of Bajorak, have basically crippling their melee attack, and then get Hushed Cast on you, mostly just for the speed reduction so that you can't run very well. And then another melee attack reduction. Any other sort of elite units? These guys are going to be at range attacks mostly, so yeah, and we really need to wipe them out. Gotta be scared of the Granite Guard. As well use these. I don't know, on the Lord? Yeah, that's probably not useful. I guess we'll put it on the other Chaos Dwarf Warriors, why not? Hey. Like so. Alright, what do we have in terms of blessings? Hey, finally using these guys. The Kossars are the most likely to die, so we'll get spirited away in case we can summon a free elemental bear. Range bonus and damage resistance cannot die. We're going to put that on these guys. Our own variant of blunderbusses. Flaming attacks is a bad idea against the Chaos Dwarf, so we'll ignore it, and this is also flaming attacks, so we'll ignore that as well. Well, I guess I guess all the Hobgobs don't have fire resistance, so we could still do it if we wanted to get some additional fighty capabilities. But our Lord will have to duel Astrogoth, who does have resistance, so that doesn't really help us as much. Weapon strength, armor piercing strength, flame resistance as well, though, admittedly. I think we're okay. Go.
Alongside a boyar of Kislev is a privilege. Do not squander it.
Alright, here we go. I am very, very excited about this fight. We got one band of Streltsy, one full stack against 2.5 enemy stacks. That's just so many Hobgobs, and that's nowhere near all of them, as we got another full stack. Moving on to the field as reinforcements. Should be real fun. Now, we do have a pretty darn good position for ourselves here. A nice elevated hilly place to fire down from with our Streltsy, so they won't be able to block each other off too much. We have our one unit of Kossars out front, and we're essentially going to allow this one, or attempt to allow this one, to get killed, so that hopefully it can transform into a randomly transform into an elemental bear, which should be fun. In the meantime, we have our war sleds, which will act as skirmishers here, annoying the enemy Blazing Beards of Bajorak Regiment of Renown, and this is certainly a high value unit here because it is a unit of Chaos Warriors that has the Naphtha bombs that they can chuck, and will thus be very dangerous to our Streltsy. See how much damage we can do to them before we back away, and frankly, if all the Naphtha bombs were to smash into a unit of war sleds, it would be pretty ugly as well, so I really can't allow them to do so. Anyway, fire from the Streltsy continue to come in, or the war sleds, well, the Streltsy and the war sleds, you know what I mean. Continues to come on in, and the enemy refuses to move as of yet, but we're also sort of maintaining the ideal kind of distance and just out of range of the enemy fire. At least we were. Now, though, if the enemy wants to mill around like that, we'll move forward a teensy bit to get a few more close-range shots into the enemy, and then just charge on in. We got warbears leading our war sleds after all. And we gotta let the warbears land a few hits. And the enemy will try to slow us down with an ash storm and obviously apply that fire weakness to us. And we'll simply back off. We did take a little bit of damage, about 10% on the war sleds, and it looks like that has kind of annoyed the enemy, or perhaps since the reinforcements have arrived on field, they're willing to play a little bit more. Astrogoth Ironhand is also kind of shadowing us, so if we charge on in, we gotta be careful, or else he'll get in our way and start obliterating war sleds. He hits pretty darn hard, 66, 74, and 714. Weapon strength before considering any kind of buffs, like his hammer buff, I forgot what it was called. Anyway, we are going to now split the war sleds so that Astrogoth can only chase one of the blobs and allow the other blob to continue annoying, menacing those poor hobgobs. Nobody told them there would be bears. And they're probably not super used to dealing with Kislevite stuff either way. Alright, and the bears head right through that pile of hobgoblin archers. They're not going to take a crazy amount of damage here, we can see, but they take a decent bit, and the fear from the bears in the charge is something they're not too happy about either. Astrogoth continues heading towards the other two war sleds, but these two are have free reign to ride around in the enemy backline and just cycle charge, go through it all, and not just do damage, but also separate the two armies from each other, or separate this portion of the army from the other. Alright, looks like Oglacon's wolf boys are giving chase to the other group of war sleds, who are going to back off. A bit of a range cav day, or sort of skirmisher day today. Pretty fun though. Anyway, another nice charge into those blobs of hobgobs. And it looks like the enemy Oglacon's wolf boys have drawn too close now, as the first of the units of Streltsy and the closer unit of Kossars will begin to fire away at them. Dangerous place for them to be, as the single unit of Streltsy will probably bring them down rather quickly. And the Oglacon's wolf boys shed about 50% of their HP, while our war sleds continue their work in the back line. Man, that must be annoying. And of course the Streltsy continue to fire. It looks like Astrogoth will foolishly move on in, and as the closer he gets, the more Streltsy will be able to target him. He sheds about half of his HP rather rapidly, and we can punish him even more by dropping the ice sheet upon him. He's also suppressed due to the Boydunov's Brawler's effect, which when combined with ice sheet drops him down somewhere between 6 and 20 speed. He is definitely not having a good time here. But it might be a bad time, but it's not a long time, as he will get focused down by the Streltsy before he can do anything, not even able to cast a single spell. We immediately then switch fire to the other advancing hobgob units. Here comes a unit of Sneaky Gits, checking their daggers, and just as they run in, but they fail or rout even as they do. Our war sleds continue menacing the enemy, though it does look like one of our war sleds here did get hit with a volley from the naphtha bombs of the Blazing Beards of Bajarak, and we can see so that's about a third of their ammunition took, what, 60% of the HP off those war sleds. We've got to be real careful, and I guess that's another reason we want to switch these out for the heavy war sleds, so that the armor would protect them from getting hit by things like those naphtha bombs. Anyway, enemy continues to advance. We still have a lot of HP on those Kossars. This is the second time we're using that particular hex, and the first time I didn't manage to get them to die and thus transform into the elemental bear. But hopefully here. And they are kind of close to the blunderbuss units, so they just need to keep firing, and eventually they'll clip them enough to dish out some damage. Anyway, time to peel off the piles of war sleds now. And we're moving our hero and our lord with them this time. Firstly, to apply the healing to this unit. It still has all 4 of its war sleds, so it's still in a pretty good shape. And a couple of Salyax lullabies will be nice there, plus we can hopefully chase down and kill the other enemy lords. Anyway, enemies continue to move towards our battle line, but continue failing in attempting to actually engage us in melee. And another shot clips through those Kossars. Those Boydunov's Brawlers are really trying to help us out in getting that elemental bear summoned. Oh, this poor Kossar unit. If I hadn't positioned them out here to die, they would have taken no damage, just like the other Kossar units have taken no damage. And only very slight damage to all of our Streltsy so far as well. And we're closing the distance now with some hobgob cutthroats. How long for, though? Alright, come on, you guys need to actually volley into them. They might actually be able to close down. They're going to break, and there we go at last. Our unit will summon the elemental bear. We don't have anybody to send it at, though, so we'll wait until we get a proper target for an elemental breath, and hopefully it can eat a few arrows from the enemy as well, which seem to be targeting them. And there we go. Gonna turn around and gonna get that bear breath going. Assume it doesn't get staggered and assume it actually wants to breathe. Come on now. There it goes. Alright, and that combined with the Boydenhouse Brawlers means another unit pretty much destroyed. Over in the background, the war sleds continue being complete menaces. This one's up to 200 kills at this point, and those enemy archers are just having the worst day. Really unable to accomplish all that much. The enemy lord is going to be our next target as well, who's out here, and fortunately moving towards us, while we continue holding the massive droves of hobgobs off with the rest of our Streltsy. Yeah, this has certainly been a long battle as well. Pretty nice. Anyway, the Elemental Bear doesn't last long, unfortunately. It's got 25 seconds more of unbinding, as it is a summoned unit, and they just don't last long. I like the SFO system a lot more, where the summoned units last. They don't have a limit. They start, I believe they start unbinding once your Winds of Magic number or amount drops. That feels a lot better to me, because sometimes the 2 minutes or whatever is offered by vanilla is really, really not enough time, and it makes summon skills feel not as worth it sometimes, depending on the unit and such. Anyway, with that, the Elemental Bear runs out of time and simply disappears, and this is also a summoned War Leopard, so we don't really care, or Snow Leopard. I guess it is also a War Leopard, but anyway. Now this thing's gonna disappear as well, so we don't really care about it dying to block some enemy units up. And this is an absolute field of corpses here, as the enemy still vainly attempts in vain to reach our lines by heading up that hill. It ain't working too well, especially when we can buff our units continuously with Gust of True Flight, increasing their range and accuracy by 30%. That's how we sniped out Mr. Astrogot, despite being such a small target. Anyway, damn, this is a long battle, too. Enemy Lord has been defeated by the looks of it, or another Lord has been defeated. There is one more, and our war sleds continue to menace the enemy, still heading into those blazing periods of Bergerac, and we did have to charge them this time, as we really didn't want them to be firing off their hits. We also did manage to charge and destroy the Granite Guard, enemy blunderbusses, which were a priority target here, who were unable to blunderbuss us. Still, you gotta love this unit. I really enjoyed using them in my Drajuath campaign, and they have such a cool look to them. Anyway, how are we doing out here? A little bit more damage on some of those war sleds, but the enemy is going to start running out of units sooner rather than later. Huh, what the heck? Okay, this is either the enemy charging through, or possibly... Now, this looks like a desync, huh? Look at that. All of our units are moving in melee. Another desync, huh? Not entirely sure why this one's happening, bit of a shame, but at the end of the day, most of the enemy army is destroyed already. It seems to have started... Huh. I just realized something. Maybe there have been desyncs all along, for a while now. And with range units. The thing is, in this particular campaign, I've been noticing that fire at will bug, so well, I guess in the Cathan campaign as well, but I haven't noticed any desyncs there so far. But anyway... What I'm getting at is, to counteract the fire at will bug, you have to manually control your range units and tell them directly who to fire at, which actually gives them an order which they will attempt to follow. And all of these units are in guard mode, but they still move out, which is also weird. Not that it matters over much. Anyway, the Boydenhouse Brawlers and their blunderbusses obliterate the now headless enemy lord, which will, I believe, force the rest of his army to shatter. Well, his army to shatter. There's still a few units moving around out here. Not sure if our units are going to be firing at them due to the desync. I see some war sleds heavily damaged in the background, but this didn't happen when I played it. In fact, all of the war sleds were completely fine when I played it. Curious. I don't think we got any desyncs on Mother Ostankya's army. There's no special or interesting unit in this particular army either. As in nothing that I think would or should be causing a desync. Not that it matters over much, as the enemy army is, I believe, now finally done. There we go. Very, very nice work from the war sleds, who were pretty darn nasty, and the Streltsy did very nicely as well. And in terms of holding that hill, I mean, look at the enemy attempt to reach it. And for some reason it feels, I don't know, it feels less obnoxious to do this with gunpowder units rather than hero units, at least to me. Anyway. There we go. Finally, some good old-fashioned war sled action. That was, damn, that was fun. I really, really enjoy using those units, and they made mincemeat of so many enemies. From 200 to 350 kills, about 20k, 14k to 30k in damage on them, and out-damaging pretty heftily all of the Streltsy, which is, well, I mean, they're essentially an upgraded version with mobility and death sleds, so that's maybe not surprising, at least against the enemy infantry. If it was piles of single entities, then it might have been a different story, but anyway, that went real well. We got a lot of money, we got a decent amount of XP for our trouble as well. We could probably just upgrade these to heavy war sleds as well. There's really not too much, it feels, reason to use light war sleds in vanilla as compared to heavy, but in SFO, it's better to mix them up since they're quite different from each other. But here, it's basically 10, I think it's 10 speed for like 60 armor, and yeah, you can sacrifice 10 speed on an already fairly quick unit for 10 armor. One of our Kossars was destroyed, but kind of on purpose. That was the one that allowed us to summon that elemental bear, and just for fun since we haven't seen them a lot. And otherwise, yeah, happy with that performance. No. Ooh, that would have been bad. Sack the place. Gotta do it. And then chase this guy down so we can't kill Uzkalak. Okay, stop moving. Stop moving. Alright, perfect. We're just in range by the looks of it. Another tax collector. We will attack you, auto-resolve you, and I'm gonna hope that it doesn't kill off the sleds, although I have a bad, they have a bad, feeling. Auto-resolve hates sleds. Yeah, each one will lose one. Well, it's actually not horrific. We can... It's not much healing either. Sacrifice the captives for a little bit of extra movement range. I'm hoping we can reach back to Great Skull Lakes. Alright. Beautiful. And we'll occupy the place as well. Only back at tier 1, but that's fine. Works for us. A free Trickster Shard, a free Scroll of Shielding, and I think that's 2 Scrolls of Shielding in this particular episode, meaning we can turn them into, hopefully, something useful. Biting Blade, Shrieking Blade, Fuse. Tormentor Sword's supposed to go in this army as well, which I will do shortly. Yeah, Scroll of Shielding, Snowflake Pendant again, and Talisman of Endurance, nice. Gold Sigil Sword, anything else? I don't care for the Terrifying Mask of E. Nor the Speed Potion. Ranger's Axe, I guess those can go on hags, maybe. Kind of a meh item, to be perfectly honest. Maybe we'll even fuse those into blue items instead. I will think about it. Obsidian Trinket and Pigeon Plucker Pendant. Will we be facing off against a lot of flyers? Probably not. Usually I save these for if we do a sort of Air Force army, which obviously isn't really possible with Kislev. Another Talayan Pavis, yes, alright, that was a good move, Ruinous. Well done. Anyway, that can go on one of Stanka's hags, and I do believe the Disciples of Hashut with that are pretty much broken. That was all their stacks. Man, that was a fun fight. And there's nothing else that they can do. We can, I guess, end the turn one more time. Damn, we're getting a lot of the battles fought. Ooh, this won't max us out, will it? And there's no other battles. Yeah, the Orthodoxy's getting really ahead. We are destroying a couple of Orthodoxy buildings, and we are building a couple of non-Orthodoxy buildings, so let's just hope that it fixes itself. Alright, let's skip, and... You know what? Don't skip the outpost. Masters of Innovation, Outpost. Their capital should be a Krakadrak, so... but they can actually build more at Winterpire. But Krakadrak should be at a higher level. Oh, those flame cannons, that'll work really nicely with Kastelta. Now, so they'll build it at Krakadrak. Don't want them to lose their capital. Do we have Altdorf available? No, they have other allies, apparently. So rude. How about Ubersreich? I usually do that when we can't do Altdorf. We've got other fire-adjacent units. Land ships will work nicely with us. Let's see, what else could we do? Well, basically any kind of artillery stuff with our range units will work. Some stuff like war wagons and such would be better in SFO, but we have sleds, and yeah, there's no need. Anyway, do that. And the Nordland we can ignore. Lovely. And let's end the turn. We are pretty much out of time, but I'm interested to see what'll happen over the end turn, just in case. I assume that you're not going to besiege us. Oh, we don't suffer attrition here anymore because there's not a lot of Chaos Corruption left. And we're saving the chant for when we reach the Crystal Spires because they have to be our territory. So end turn. hope I don't forget anything, but if I did, it's too late. Fator. Oh, right, the ambush thing. Ha. Alright, well, he did get ambushed, but unfortunately his army is garbage. It's absolute garbage. They have no chance with basic marauders, and it's low casualties and it's ambush. I think we're not going to bother this one. It's just too weak. And we will... maybe take the healing? I think take the healing, because we want to be able to move on to the enemy's main building here, and maybe we'll actually fight that if we can draw them out, especially. Ooh, and if Toxfarter is still in march stance, and if Boris can reach him, we should actually be able to draw out the entire garrison and fight a big fight. As I think that's a tier 4 settlement, so that means a lot of elite units. Dusty wants peace, but no, Dusty will be biting, said Dust, shortly. There's that Slayer of the God Slayer. Attrition from all attrition is actually quite nice, and there's that little army. I was wondering where it went. Well, we can still reach this guy, so that'll still be possible. I'd love to fight it right now, but I don't think we have time. On the other hand, we did just deprive Boris of a fight. And if they're... actually, they might not... no, wait, they have no choice, do they? Actually, wait, I thought this was tier 4, but... no, it is tier 4, but the garrison is actually kind of meh. Go figure. Anyway, we just got Norse hatred. We essentially ended most of the chaos threat, and just as we do, we get the upgrade to destroy them further, which is kind of amusing. Upkeep production. Alright, we have to... I mean, I'm still inclined to say Quartermaster is the superior pick. It's 10%, even at the cost of 5% weapon strength. It's still nice. Ooh, I do like the Ice Guard Captain. I didn't even realize that this was an option, though. Huh. We should actually maybe get some Ice Guard Captains for Tsarina Katrin. You're, I think, an Ice Switch, though, so we want a Tempest Switch for Tsarina Katrin specifically. So we'll still go Quartermaster as we've been doing, but it's certainly something to keep an eye on. We'll train a few more, especially as we're liable to unlock stuff. Anyway, yeah, it looks like Kastelton's just one essentially ahead of the Ice Court. 32 and 17 now. So we got 49 versus 30, 40, 42. 39 versus... wait, 39 versus 42. Oh, 49 versus 42. Yeah. Okay, we might still need to destroy a few more. Okay, fine. Assuming we build them evenly, if we destroy the both plus 14s here out of Vigorov and Vitevo, it'll even out completely. Unless I'm mistaken. Now, this actually looks kind of not worth fighting, to be perfectly honest, so I think we'll just auto-resolve it. At least that's what it's looking like. Sacrifice to Ursun. I'm a little bit surprised, but, well... yeah, it's just garbage. Oh well, we already broke this faction earlier when we destroyed its attempts to actually do something useful, and... okay, I thought the game froze. That would have been a shame. Let us go for... Devotion plus 5. This is all minimal. Alright, good job for Boris, and then you can occupy the Crystal Spires with another auto-resolve, I guess, because those units or those demons were reforged. Then, the main thing that I wanted to do was occupy this, so that we can... huh. Actually, I just thought of something. If we fight no more Chaos factions this turn, as in if we leave these guys alone, that might be good. Here's the thing. If we don't fight a single Chaos faction this turn... ah, Wulfric is here. I wonder if he can actually reach us at the Altar of the Crimson Hearts. Oh, wow, it's Wulfric and Skyla Anfingrim with 3 Norse Conjunts. You're not winning that, Vasily, at least not without upgrades to your units, which you can't do. Huh. Okay, we're going to have to send Kastelton their way. Which, fair enough, but this is kind of a problem right now. We got a very nice other Iron Ice Armor, though. And another Ritual Enforcer, which we will use when we attack you. Also, you wanna join war against Wulfric, maybe? Can. Okay, that's not happening. Yeah, so if we could avoid it, what would happen is... there's no overflow, right? So you get plus 49, but the plus 49 will actually become 11 because we're at 89 out of 100. Whereas this will gain the full amount. That would mean not attacking the burning monolith, which is a bit of an annoyance. But I think we can wait the turn. Ostankya's down here. We would have to skip 4 Dorjny Vort, although if we get 2, that's 2 chaos battles. And then potentially maybe there's another one to be fought. I will think about it, but it might be a good idea to do that. Oh, also, Purification Chant. This is what I wanted to do and then probably forgot about. Perform this immediately, which will unlock the next hex, will it not? I guess it will unlock it next turn. Alright, so we'll give that a read or a listen next time around. Ooh, we're just so close to the next boon of the Orthodoxy as well, which is so important. That'll be Spiritual Conquest, meaning plus 100 devotion in all new captured territories, meaning all new chaos territories will become green and essentially, you know, completely useful to us, which will be great. Which means we're free to take territory here if we want it. And I guess Boris is already up there and he can maybe enjoy fighting some Dark Elves with his bears. Show Rakarth who... well, Rakarth's not up here, but anyway, we're out of time. I'm going to call it here. Stay tuned. Oh, our economy's fixed itself. Great. Stay tuned for more Ostankya. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially to Threshold. Oh, I forgot I wasn't doing that this campaign. But anyway, or I forgot it so many times that I kind of gave up. Anyway, more Ostankya to come. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.